So get this, a potential revolution in electric car technology is being tested right now in, of all places, an American muscle car. Seriously, Stellantis, the folks behind Dodge, Jeep, and Alfa Romeo, is making this colossal bet that could completely rewrite the rules of the EV race. Let's get into it. We all know the deal with EVs, right? They've got that insane, instantaneous acceleration that'll smoke a V8. But we also know the flip side, that feeling of being stuck at a charging station for what feels like an eternity. It is, without a doubt, the single biggest headache that's stopping so many people from going all electric. The thing is, for all their amazing tech, pretty much every EV on the road today is built on a series of compromises. You're always trading one thing for another. Performance, range, charging speed, weight. And the battery? Well, the battery is right at the center of that balancing act. I'm talking about the greatest hits of EV problems. You've got range anxiety, that little voice in your head asking if you'll make it, the painfully long charging times, the sheer weight of the batteries, which absolutely kills handling, and of course, the way your range just nosedives when it gets cold outside. These aren't just minor annoyances. This is basically the wall that current lithium-ion batteries have hit.
But what if? What if you could just wave a magic wand and make all those compromises disappear? Well, that is exactly the promise of a brand new type of battery from a company called Factorial. And Stellantis isn't just interested. They are betting the entire farm on it.
Okay, so here's what you really need to know. This tech, called FEST, isn't just a slightly tweaked version of today's batteries. It is a completely different animal. It ditches the flammable liquid that's in every current EV battery and swaps it for a much safer, more stable, quasi-solid material. Now, that change is the secret sauce. Why? Because it finally lets them use a pure lithium metal anode, which is basically the holy grail of battery technology. For years, it's been too unstable to use, but it holds way more energy than what's in cars today. This is the key that unlocks a whole other level of performance. And just look at the difference in what we call energy density. Basically, how much punch you can pack into every pound. Today's best batteries, the ones you'd find in a Tesla, max out around 270 watt-hours per kilogram. Factorial's tech? A whopping 391. That is a massive leap. It means you can get way more range without adding weight, or you could get the same range from a battery that's much, much lighter. And remember that charging problem we were talking about? Well, check this out. We're talking 18 minutes to go from 15% all the way to 90%. That is a total game changer, especially because this battery doesn't do that annoying thing where it slows to a crawl after an 80% charge. It's almost as fast as stopping for gas. So you take that incredible energy density and what do you get? A potential range of over 800 kilometers. That's nearly 500 miles on a single charge. At that point, you're not just reducing range anxiety, you're pretty much eliminating it for most people. So this all sounds amazing on paper, but how do you test something this revolutionary in the real world? Well, Stellantis needed a test bed. Were they going to put it in some quiet, sensible little hatchback? No way. They're dropping it into a 670 horsepower all-electric Dodge Charger. And believe me, there's a very, very smart reason for that. You see, this new Charger is built on a brand new architecture called the STLA Large Platform. It was engineered from day one to handle absolutely insane amounts of power and massive battery packs. It's the perfect rolling lab to push this new battery to its absolute limits and see if it can handle the brutal demands of a muscle car. Insane acceleration and charging it super fast over and over again. And here's another huge number for you. Because this battery packs so much more power into less space, Stellantis can get that huge 800-kilometer range while also cutting up to 200 kilograms. That's around 440 pounds from the car's total weight. That is going to completely change how it feels, making it handle more like a nimble sports car instead of a heavy EV. This quote right here, this gets to the absolute heart of what Stellantis is trying to do. They're using this tech to change the whole conversation. It's not about choosing an EV to be green anymore. It's about building a car that is on every single performance metric you can think of, just flat out better than the gas-guzzling V8s it's replacing. So let's zoom out for a second. What does all of this mean for everyone else? Well, it's a huge signal that the EV race is changing. It's not just about who can crank out the most cars anymore. Now, it's about who can deliver the next big technological leap. And right here, you're looking at two totally different strategies to win. On one side, you have Tesla, which is laser-focused on making manufacturing better, faster, and cheaper. On the other side, you've got Stellantis, and they're not just refining things, they're betting on a massive, game-changing leap in the battery chemistry itself. It's definitely higher risk, but the reward could be enormous. Now, before you get too excited, you won't be able to buy one of these chargers in 2026. What they're rolling out is a demonstration fleet. Think of it as a huge, real-world beta test. Their goal is to collect a mountain of data, prove the tech works in freezing cold and scorching heat, and basically get all the bugs worked out before they put it in their high-end cars. So, the big question, when can you actually get one? The plan is to launch this as a premium option, first in cars like Maseratis and Alfa Romeos, probably around 2027 or 2028. But there's a catch, and it's a big one: cost. Figuring out how to build these new batteries on a massive scale is a huge challenge, and that's why we probably won't see this tech in a more affordable, mainstream car until 2030 at the earliest. Which really brings us to the final billion-dollar question. Stellantis is pushing all its chips to the middle of the table, betting that this one huge jump in battery tech will let them leapfrog everybody. If they pull it off, they might just have a car with no compromises. But in a race this fierce, is one knockout punch really enough to win the whole fight? I guess we're all going to have to wait and see.